Now it's time for Toker Talk Radio, the voice of the marijuana nation.
What are you people? On dope?
Where you can toke.
I inhale frequently.
Or you can talk.
I experimented with marijuana and didn't inhale.
Or you can toke and talk.
10 federal criminal penalties for possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana.
While we talk about toke on Toker Talk Radio.
So, by the way, when it comes to pot, you know, if you're 40 years old, you live in a log cabin in Oregon, you got 12 giant pot plants in your backyard, have a ball.
Live from beautiful Portland, Oregon at Rolla J Studios.
Hey, this is great. Just like cannabis.
Plus your calls live at 971-533-7111.
They're walking on their pants with their cap on backwards, listening to Enema Man and Snoopy Poop Dog.
What's to keep somebody from getting all potted up on weed and then getting behind the wheel? Gateway theory doesn't work. It's a reality.
Holland, is it real? Don't tease me.
We're locking up people that take a couple of puffs of marijuana, and the next thing you know, they got 10 years.
And now, here's your host, the guru of ganja graphics, the sultan of sativa statistics, and the worst nightmare of a reefer mad prohibitionist. A polite, perspicacious, productive pothead with a propensity for PowerPoint. Radical Russ Belville.
Welcome back, everybody. Toker Talk Radio here. Glad to have you here. We're remembering Michael L. Malta, the king of pot, Boston area activist, passed away from a heart attack last night, sudden and unexpected. Glad you could be here with us. Also joining us in the studio, we've got Stony and Snap. Hello, ladies. What's happening? It's Match One Monday. You can explain what that is?
Match One Monday. Every Monday is a chance to enjoy a joint, a bong, a dab, an edible with someone new. Don't be afraid to spark up that conversation. It's the only way we can overgrow the government.
There you go.
Medicate and recreate with a new friend today.
That's it. Match One Monday. Right? Medicate and recreate with a new friend today.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll celebrate that spirit right here. I like that. And we are taking calls at 971-533-7111. And, of course, King of Pot was in that video we just showed. And I'm going to get a T-shirt made with his picture on it that says, "We changed the laws here." With his Boston accent. We changed the laws here.
That's right. We can do it everywhere.
We can, man. I love that attitude. He was just balls out, man. He was just all out for it. And it was so cool to get to meet him. And I have some other video, the mountain, like when you're on the Boston Common, it's this big, huge park, right? Mm-hmm. And in the middle of it, there's kind of this hill that they call Mount Mary Jane.
Wow.
And everybody goes up there and smokes, does their 420 thing. And of course, on Boston Freedom Rally, it was packed. Wow. Now, on Sunday, they closed the Freedom Rally at 3 because the cops were all, there's a whole story behind that. But anyway, it's closed at 3, right? And we're all like, well, there's still 420. We're not going anywhere. It's a public park, right? They shut down the bands. They shut down the stage. They shut down the vendors. But nobody went anywhere. Right. So everybody's still in the park and everybody starts gathering at this Mount Mary Jane. Right. And and since we had no electricity, we just getting out bullhorns, old fashioned, and doing speeches on a stump. Right. Yeah. On one of their benches. And so Mike was getting up to speak and a bunch of people, Rick Cusick from High Times was up there and Chris Goldstein was up there. Just a bunch of people standing up to speak. And it was just so great to be a part of that with them. They are renaming now Mount Mary Jane to Mount Malta, which is his last name. So it's going to be Mount Malta where everybody does their 420. And I understand they're having some gathering probably taking place as we speak right now in Boston at the Common with a lot of the activists.
If you are down there, call us.
Yeah.
Boston, hit us up today.
Number here is 971-533-7111. And also, coming up on the show a little bit later, I've got a few things to mini-rant about. Because they're not full-fledged rants. They're just mini-rants. And one of them is, I'm an NFL football fan. And y'all are NFL football fans.
Oh, hardcore. It's the time.
Atlanta Falcons, right?
Dirty Birds today.
Dirty Birds. Okay, good.
We shall fly tonight.
Our friends Stoney and Snapper from Atlanta, so they're Dirty Birds fans.
Yes.
And
Buzzards show up.
if you watch the football this weekend, you know, as it has for the past 4 years before this, every October, the NFL pairs up with the American Cancer Society for this Crucial Catch campaign, which is where they put pink all over the damn NFL.
Everywhere.
So we're going to talk about that in the second half hour. We're going to get into the pink NFL.
It got me. I'm wearing pink today.
I noticed. So we'll talk about that in the second half hour. Also coming up, we are going to get, I believe we got a report in from our flux capacitor. Our old-timey 1920s radio reporter, Freddie Farrak, will be joining us for another stupid prohibition story. So stay tuned for that. Also on the show later on, I got some new data to go over about school drug testing, like when they force high school kids to drug test, whether or not it does any good. Try and guess what the result was. Anyway, we'll get to that in hour 2 as well. So thanks for joining us here at Toker Talk Radio. You are the voice of the Marijuana Nation. We'll start taking calls right after the break. 971-533-7111.
It's simply business. It's simply business. It's simply business, you know why they won't let us grow. It's simply business.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisers because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the Marijuana Nation.
It's simply business. It's simply business. It's simply business, you know why they won't let us grow. It's simply business. It's simply business, you know why they won't let us grow. It's simply business.
I'm Radical Russ Belville, and I want to thank you for listening to 420 Radio. We couldn't survive without you and our sponsors, and I'd like you to check out one of our prime sponsors, the National Cannabis Coalition. I've been working with NCC since June of 2012, and I'm proud to be part of the team they have assembled. National Cannabis Coalition is building the partnerships with reformers, lawmakers, and industry we need to be successful. Visit the National Cannabis Coalition website at nationalcannabiscoalition.com or the easier-to-remember ncc420.com. That's where you'll get the exclusive first look at my radical rants, as well as informative articles from the nation's top cannabis pundits. Visit ncc420.com today, and if you have your phone handy, text Russ to 420-420 to support NCC and 420 Radio. It's a free text message that helps us help you end adult marijuana prohibition. Learn more at ncc420.com, and thanks for supporting independent marijuana legalization public radio. The law offices of Omar Figueroa would like to remind you to stand up for your rights. Please do not give up your precious liberties. There's nothing wrong with standing up for our constitutional rights, and in fact, it's the only way to honor the Constitution that recognizes our natural rights. Treat law enforcement with respect, and respect the Constitution by standing up for your rights. If you are detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, I respectfully invoke all my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search and seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to speak to my attorney, Omar Figueroa. Omar Figueroa has more than a decade of experience in federal and California courts and graduated from Yale University, Stanford Law School, and Trial Lawyers College. Please contact the law offices of Omar Figueroa at 415-489-0420 or 707-829-0215. Or on the web at www.omarfigueroa.com.
Sunshine, there ain't no
Yeah, music from Sinister Grin. That's Medicine right here on Toker Talk Radio, right here on 420radio.org. Thanks for being here. We got Stony and Snap, although Snap and Stony, if you're looking from me to them, right? So Snap in the middle, Stony on the end. In from Atlanta,
with the NFL breast cancer love.
That's right. yeah, and in from Atlanta, and you've been touring around all summer, huh?
All year.
All year?
Oh man, we've been everywhere, and it's been awesome.
That is fantastic.
All the coasts have been hit. I've seen all the water surrounding this country.
We're ready to go out the country.
Yeah.
You're ready for the country.
International listeners, please get ready. We will be in your town, in your city. Ready to match on.
We just haven't decided which one is first. So if you want to be first, let me know.
Oh, is there a contest? Is there a way people can have Stony and Snap move to your place?
I feel like it would be a good time to have, and if you want to have that good time exclusively, you should let me know. It's not like
All right, we'll have to put that up online.
Grow more pot.
Grow more pot.
You grow lots of beautiful pot.
Yeah,
if you have a dank garden, I will be there in a heartbeat.
Oh. That's right, and that's why we're on the dankden.com with all our homies. Shout out to everyone in the chat room right now. We have IG, Corpse Sage, we got Kevin and Golden Nugget, all in the chat room, man, listening in. We're going to get them hooked up. They're trying to figure it out right now.
Right on. All right, we're going to go to our Skype line here because our own lively Libra has something to say.
Welcome.
Let's see if we can get her on the line. Hello, lively Libra.
Hi there.
Hey, you've got a King of Pot story. Oh, and by the way, Stony and Snap waving and saying hi.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, because I just had to go away from the window. I think they're just cute as hell, and I want to hang out with them any day of the week.
Thank you. We're ready for the story, man.
Your bid is in. I take it. I accept.
Bless
All right.
I'm coming to find you.
Okay, so, Boston was the first East Coast experience I've had for a long time. And my son goes to college there at Emerson. And when we got there, the first day, I noticed these two guys everywhere I went, and he had this sign, and it's the King of Pot. So later on the first day, I met a Boston native named Chandra, who's hung out with us all the second day. And seriously, everywhere I went, you saw the King of Pot. He had so much energy. He was everywhere. He was on stage. He was backstage. He was he was in front. He was everywhere. So fast forward to Sunday at the protest that you were just explaining that happened at 420. And about 4:15, I was parked right on the bench where everybody was speaking because I had my oil slick shirt on and I was doing a little product placement. And so I was sitting there, and I was also hanging out with Chandra, who is really disabled, and she needed a bench. So we were there, and then all of a sudden, at 4:15, the King of Pot sat down right next to me, flipped his sign over, got a bunch of pot out, and started rolling up joints. Well, he ran out of papers, and somebody asked him for a paper, and I'm sitting there, and I go, hey, my kid's got some papers. And I said, hey, Walker, grab your papers. And the King of Pot, he just goes, he goes, hi, I never heard that one before. My kid's got some papers. All right, so that's my bad Boston accent. With apologies to Michael. So I was really shocked this morning because, I got to have many moments kind of with him. Chandra introduced us, and then it just seemed like, you ran into him everywhere. Didn't you feel that, Russ?
Yeah. Well, there was two stages like across the common from each other, and it didn't matter which one I was at, he was there.
Yeah.
I think there's two of them, really.
Right.
I think so. And so right now, his doppelganger hopefully is partying somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my story, and thanks for letting me share it, because I was really shocked and heartbroken for everybody in the family.
Yeah.
Inspiration to us all. And again, like you said, nobody's guaranteed tomorrow, so let's live it today.
Right on. Well, thank you, Libra, for calling in. Appreciate that. And thank you for all your work on 420 Radio. New episode of the Libra Lounge is up tomorrow at noon if folks want to listen to it.
Yeah, we just kind of hit record on Ustream, and you'll see us celebrating 420 in Colorado on the day after our birth anniversary. I turned 50, Mr.'s 53, and we've been married 15 years.
All on the same day.
Yeah, so we had some actual real hardcore fans of yours there. We all hung out. We ate some beef and partied a little. So we just kind of hit record. It's raw and it's kind of fun.
All right. Well, we'll check that out tomorrow at noon here on 420 Radio. Lively Libra, thank you for calling in.
All right. Thank you so much, as always, Russ.
Happy 420.
All right. Do your homework, kids.
Yeah, we will. We got some homework to do for sure. So I have to get to this, though. It just came in. Well, no, I'm not going to have enough time to get to that, so I'm going to save that. Let's put that over here. There we go. And then we'll do that later. So we're going to stick around here for the next 4 minutes, hang out with the ladies here. So you say you've been to both coasts. You've been all around. How many miles take it?
Oh, shout out to Little O. My friend said his son, he wants to know it's live and it's not fake.
It's not
We're
fake.
here, man. It's real.
Little O.
Over 10,000 miles, and then we stopped counting.
No, see, this is like Oregon Ducks around
Oregon
here.
Ducks, too, man.
I was like, why is Stoney getting all ducks on me, man?
We're getting hyped up. We got to spread love because Atlanta's about to pound it down tonight. I'm sorry for the opposers. It's going to happen. I can't even say your name. I just got to spread love about Atlanta because it's going down tonight.
Yeah.
Everybody get ready. It's a few minutes away.
And we got the big 6'1" TV upstairs.
Oh, and I am so ready.
Crater Rock.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's the other.
Let them know.
Yes. That's the other good news. We got to let you know here. Let me switch cameras. We always like to do a little show and tell here at 420 Radio in our little normal jar. We got a little normal nug jar, right? Got to have a nug jar. And today's strain is Crater Lake, which is a Oregon version of, what did I say?
Blue Dream.
Blue Dream, that's right. I was going to say it's not Blue Haze, Blue Dream. So this is an Oregon version of Blue Dream known as Crater Lake. Now, if you've ever been to Crater Lake, it's blue.
Yeah.
Like, if you had to define blue, if you had to put a picture in the dictionary, and say this is officially blue and anything else is just light blue or dark blue or whatever, that's Crater Lake. Crater Lake is the bluest thing. And number 2, little trivia, it's the only national park in Oregon.
Wow.
Only national park. And this is important to know because if you're a patient, you know, you don't want to have your medicine at a national park because that's federal. And the park ranger,
we do it anyway.
He will take your picnic basket. It will not be good. It will not be.
I particularly like state parks.
I love, state parks are a different situation.
Very nice.
You know,
but just be safe.
That's anywhere you go.
Flowers.
Prohibition will have in a legal state, unlegal state, wherever you are. You always have to watch your back. Do not get caught slipping with your medication.
That's right.
And this is also new. If you see anything going on around your dispensary or safe access point, let the dispensary know. We have to talk to each other when you see something fishy.
You see something, say something.
Yeah, man, smoke something. Match one.
Yeah.
That's the thing is we're the pioneers in the legal world, and what we do casts a long shadow on what is going to happen for the next state that tries, you know. When Iowa gets ready to legalize, they're going to look back at what happened in Colorado and Washington and all these other states, and that's going to inform their decision as to whether they do it or not. So
what the government should do, they should watch what the wonderful organic grown cannabis co-ops do, because that is the true example for what they follow. Because a lot of these laws, Russ, don't make sense. What's a medical law when you can't grow at home? I'm not going to look out after that. That's not inspiring. Let's scratch all these fake safe access laws and start over.
Why can I have cannabis without cultivation or cultivation points? Like, that's not fair.
I agree. The last 8 states to have passed medical marijuana have passed them all without home cultivation.
What is that about?
That's not safe access.
Part of it's political, you know. That's what they had to do to get it passed. Like in one case, one of the governors said, "I won't sign it unless you take home grow out."
And that's why we don't have
and
time.
Then where is a safe access point for my medicine? I'm supposed to trust that it's coming from somewhere safe as my house.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Hey, folks, you know what that sound means? It's 420 here on the West Coast. It's Match One Monday, folks.
Match One Monday.
Find someone you don't know and smoke them out. As long as you know that you can smoke them out. Don't smoke out a narc or something.
Smoke out the narc.
It might change his mind.
Have you ever met that funny reefer man? Reefer man. If he said he swam to China, he would sell you South Carolina. Then you know you're talking to that reefer man.
Hey, Tokers and Tokettes, Radical Russ here to introduce you to my friend Matt and all the staff at Lush LED Lighting. Growing plants indoors can be a rewarding hobby, but electricity bills can go through the roof. Then you have to cool down all those big hot lights. It can drive a grower insane. With Lush LED Lighting, you can solve many of these issues and double your rewards. If you thought LEDs were meet the tech of today, Matt and his scientists have developed the perfect light for flowering plants with far less cost and heat. And the results? Let's just say I appear at a lot of events with the masters of indoor horticulture, and the harvests I saw from Lush LED Lighting were big, tight, sticky, and very effective. Check out LushLEDlighting.com right now and tell them Radical Russ sent you. Double your rewards and lower your expenses with Lush LED Lighting.
Let 'em bring in the beat.
Adam Hand of Handmade Apparel produces quality custom designs for t-shirts, hats, and other apparel. Handmade Apparel is the official design shop for 420 Radio, The Russ Belville Show, Ganja John, and Cascadia Concentrates, among many clients who rely on Adam Hand for everything from short-run custom projects to full-run clothing lines. Adam's meticulous designs are individually crafted and screened in vibrant, high-definition color. Visit handmadeapparel.biz to browse the selection of handmade gear or to get a personal quote for your own designs. Handmade Apparel, a proud supporter of 420radio.org.
Let 'em bring in the beat.
We've got some great shows in our 5 p.m. Pacific primetime lineup here at 420radio.org, but if you missed them on the weekdays, you can catch them on the weekends, starting Saturday at 10 a.m. and Sunday very early at 4 a.m. Pacific time, beginning with Stony Sundays with Coral Reefer, followed by Weed Nerd with Subcool, Free Weed with Danny Danko, Jorge Cervantes TV, and ending up with The Jody Emery Show every weekend in our repeat blocks right here on 420radio.org.
Let me hit that, man. Hell yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. Johnny Reefer Seed and the High Rollers with Light 'em Up, and we're back here at Roller J Studios with Stony and Snap and you here on Toker Talk Radio. Phone lines are open at 971-533-7111. If you got comments, questions, concerns, or just want to share, because sharing is caring.
Or take bong hits over the phone.
Or take bong hits over the phone with us. You can do that too. It is Match One Monday. But first I have to get to this because I cannot let it go unsaid. Not quite a rant, but there's some reefer madness out there that we got to get to. Got to deal with it.
Get high before you go to work, you light 'em up. I better get high here. Light 'em up. If they only give you a half hour for lunch, get a QT burrito and a wine punch and light 'em up.
Marijuana is an addictive drug which produces in its users insanity, criminality, and death. Marijuana is the most violence-causing drug in the history of mankind. If the hideous monster Frankenstein came face-to-face with the monster of marijuana, he dropped dead from fright. You know, it's not easy countering 7 decades of propaganda in a 2-hour show, but let's try. It's time for the Russ Belville Show's Reefer Madness Debunked.
All right, I had to get to this Reefer Madness because it's out of the Boston Herald in honor of the King of Pot. I figured he would want me to attack this, and so here we go. This is written by Robert J. Petrella in the News and Opinion section of the Boston Herald on Sunday. And he writes, as you were saying, don't let genie out of the bag. That's our theme here. Don't let the genie out of the bag. I suppose the genie is pot. Which, you know, if only we don't legalize it, I guess no one will smoke it.
You know, it's only true when it's like the last little nug in the bag.
What if I have a magic lamp, though?
Maybe you have a magic lamp. All right, so this is what this guy writes. He says, my political leanings are libertarian. On most days, I bemoan our society's slide toward the nanny state and the continual erosion of our individual liberties, privacy, and personal autonomy. But on the issue of drug legalization, I stand firmly with the advocates of tough anti-drug laws, and I was upset by the recent Department of Justice decision allowing states to decriminalize marijuana use. In other words, this guy's a libertarian unless it's marijuana, and then he's all nanny state. He says, this is how he bolsters his opinion. Marijuana can be addictive. The National Institute on Drug Abuse cites the following statistics. About 9% of the people who smoke marijuana become dependent upon it. This includes about 16% of those who start smoking in their teens and up to 50% of those who smoke daily. Organizations like Marijuana Anonymous exist to support addicts and their families. Okay. So this 9% thing, this 9% NIDA addiction thing. Number one, the definition of addiction is a quite slippery one here. It basically means people who smoke a lot of weed. And if we're going to call all of them addicts, that's quite of a slippery definition. But this other thing is tobacco addicts fully 1/3. It's about 32% actually. 32% of the people who try tobacco become addicted to it. Causes much more harm, yet nobody's talking about making smokes illegal. Right. Benzodiazepines, benzos, those drugs, Xanaxes and stuff, have about 9% addiction. So what? We should make those illegal too.
Right, please.
This guy goes on to say, it impairs thinking. Cigarette smoking has many short and long-term health effects, but it doesn't cause immediate changes in cognitive function, at least not to the level that affects performance. Clearly, marijuana does. Well, in novice users, it does. In folks that smoke every day like we do, we smoke some pot and we go about our day. And things are just fine. But okay. Clearly, marijuana does. Well, clearly, alcohol does. Have severe and immediate effects on cognitive functioning, judgment, and psychomotor control. But no one's talking about making that one illegal. He says, if everyday experience isn't convincing enough, multiple studies have detailed this. In addition, a growing body of evidence indicates that heavy marijuana users may suffer longer-term cognitive effects.
Fuck propaganda. That's all it is.
I haven't seen any of these studies. In fact, anytime anyone brings up long-term cognitive effects, I just tend to say Carl Sagan. Right. Carl Sagan, a freaking rocket scientist, was on this stuff, and seemed to have done just fine.
Rocket science, huh?
The counter-argument to this is that alcohol also impairs your thinking, yet is legal. That is true, but it's akin to arguing that you should be allowed to shoot your spouse because your neighbor did it and got away with it.
Wow.
That's a good one, man.
That may be the stupidest analogy I've ever heard. Yeah. This guy is saying that if we argue marijuana should be legal because alcohol is legal, that's like saying I should be able to shoot my spouse because my neighbor shot his spouse and got away with it. I can't even perform the gymnastics necessary to contort myself legal into a position where that makes a shred of sense. Okay. He says, it is long-acting. Unlike alcohol, which is eliminated from a person's system in a matter of hours, the active ingredient in marijuana, THC, is fat-soluble, which means that it and some of its metabolites can accumulate in body tissues over time. THC is detectable in the blood in habitual marijuana smokers over a week after last use and can reside in tissues for weeks and months. Okay, so you know why alcohol flushes from your system as quickly as your body can get it the fuck out? 'Cause it's a poison.
It's toxic.
It's toxic. It can kill you. We got Left Wing Larry, by the way, joining us. If people are like, who is that? Left Wing Larry's dropped in as well.
Larry OG.
It's toxic. It will kill you. Isn't it interesting that of all the drugs out there, meth and heroin and coke and alcohol, your body kicks them out as quick as it can. But pot holds on
You
to.
need it.
My endocannabinoid system needs it.
Why do you suppose?
It doesn't go away.
And the question also is, okay, so me, if I stop smoking right now, but if I stop smoking right now, for weeks, there'd be lingering THC in my system.
But not enough to get you through every day.
No.
That'd be crazy.
But the other question is...
That would never happen.
No,
You can't
don't
let
do
that
it.
happen to anyone.
There are cases of people passing away after that time
2
period
weeks,
of
3 weeks.
medicine.
But the other question is, so what? There's a whole bunch of THC in me right now, and I don't seem to be harming society.
Right.
So if I quit and there was lingering amounts of lesser amounts of THC in my system, how would that be any worse than me right now? I'm smoking pot every day. Show me the harm I'm causing.
What am I doing?
All right. So what else does he say here? He says, its use has many other documented health effects, including increased risks for anxiety and panic reactions, motor vehicle accidents, respiratory infections, and in young users, schizophrenia. They're losing their minds. Hey, we got a call coming in from 508 area code. Welcome to Toker Talk Radio. You're on the air.
Hey, how's it going? I just would like to take you guys up on that whole rip on the air for tribute to KOP.
All right, tribute to KOP, King of Pot. Let's do. You got your bowls loaded?
Nope, need to load it up.
All right, we're gonna load up our bowls. Wait, you're calling from Massachusetts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you see King of Pot at the Freedom Rally?
I actually did get a chance to talk to the King of Pot at the Freedom Rally, and it was definitely a tough one to come home from work and hear about that today.
Yeah, that sucked, man. I got up this morning.
Yeah, he's an amazing person, and every time I talk to him, it was just nothing but smiles. You know, exciting guy, constantly excited about everything that's going on. And it was just the last thing I, expected. Nobody ever expects it, but I mean, it was just a wild situation. I just really feel for his family.
Yeah, our thoughts go out to his family and friends as well. And if you're loaded, we're loaded. Let's go. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
There you go. That's for the King of Pot.
That's for the King of Pot right there. Long live the King.
Thank you so much for calling in, man. Peace out.
All right, bro. Take care.
Yeah, man. That's the way we celebrate. That's the way we remember. That's the way he'd want it remembered, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He'd be
Keep
puffing
smoking.
big old bowls. That's for damn sure.
And passing it to everyone he sees.
Hell yeah.
Pack one for Larry.
So there's enough debunking of that reefer madness, Boston Herald style. Wanted to talk about that. The other thing I wanted to talk about here in this second part of the show has to do with the National Football League. And where's my football sound? There she is. Got to talk about this. All right, so a lot of us here at 420 Radio, we are diehard NFL football fans, and if you watch the games this weekend, you couldn't help but notice an abundance of hot pink all over the field, the players, the referees, even the normally yellow digital first down line. Yes, it's October in the NFL, which means it's time for the annual A Crucial Catch campaign. For the past 5 years, the NFL has partnered with the American Cancer Society to promote breast cancer screening awareness for women. The pink marketing campaign encourages women to get checked for the disease, and the NFL promises auctions of game-worn pink items will benefit breast cancer research. But if the NFL were truly concerned about breast cancer research, they should drop the pink and turn to the green. Cannabis. In 2007, ABC News reported the work of Sean D. McAllister, an associate scientist at the California Pacific Medical Center Research Institute in San Francisco, showing that cannabidiol, or CBD, blocks the progress of metastatic breast cancer. This research has been duplicated for other cancers since then, and builds on research dating all the way back to 1974, when a research team at the Medical College of Virginia first discovered delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, or THC, quote, slowed the growth of lung cancers, breast cancers, and virus-induced leukemia in laboratory mice, and prolonged their lives by as much as 36%, end quote. Now, it's not as if we expect the NFL to suddenly put pot leaves all over the field and the players, but imagine if they did. But they could take steps to not demonize it, at least by removing cannabis from the drug test regimen of the players. Considering all the toxic, addictive painkillers that players get addicted to, remember Brett Favre? The NFL should not penalize players for seeking relief from a safer substance. And now that we have research showing that cannabinoids can help protect and repair brain tissue following concussion, the NFL ought to have a volcano vaporizer in every locker room for any player who just got his bell rung. Now, some critics believe the NFL is merely engaged in a marketing campaign to appeal to female fans, a demographic heavily coveted by the league. During the first 4 years of the Pink campaign, beginning in 2009, the NFL donated $4.5 million to cancer charities and research, according to Sports on Earth. In 2009, just that 1 year, the league-wide revenue of the NFL was $8 billion. Over 1,777 times more money in 1 year than they donated to cancer over 4 years. This year, the NFL agreed to settle concussion-related class action lawsuits for $765 million, over 170 times more money than they donated to cancer over 4 years. Educating women on the need for breast cancer screening and providing health care for the men whose brains suffered for the game are both laudable moves, but we got to throw the penalty flag on the NFL for ignoring cannabis's promise of prevention and treatment for both cancer and concussion. But at least next week, the penalty flags will be back to yellow. It turns out having penalty flags the same color as the players' hand towels wasn't a really good idea. All right, so we're going to take a break. That's my little NFL mini rant. And, God, we got to watch the Falcons with pink on them, too. Oh, well. We'll make the best of it.
I got a little bit of trivia for you, too.
When we come back, we'll get trivia from Left Wing Larry. Stay tuned.
You smoke trees till you get what you need now. Designer drugs with minted smoke to get through the day. You always get them so high.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisements because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
You know Herb Thrasher from the Herb Thrasher Flower Hour. Now get ready for Herb Age Designs for the proud cannabis consumer. Herb Age Designs, lifestyle gear for the 420 friendly. Herb Age Designs, home of the famous lighter leash. Herb Age Designs, get your Herb Age t-shirts and hoodies and show your pride. Herb Age Designs, we've got frisbee golf discs and durable hemp gear. Herb Age Designs, we've got shot glasses, drinking glasses, coffee mugs, and beer cozies. Check us out on Facebook and online at herbagedesigns.com. And follow Herb Age and Herb Thrasher on Twitter. We'll see you at this year's Hemp Fest. Crank it up.
NORMAL stands for Responsible Adult Cannabis Use. If cannabis use is causing problems in your life, consider taking a break or seeking medical assistance. Consider ceasing cannabis use if you have a family history of mental illness. Don't drive or operate heavy machinery while impaired by cannabis use. Cannabis use is not without risks, even though the risks may be far less than those posed by legal drugs.
All right, tokers and tokettes, it's 40 after the hour, so double your pleasure. Twice is 20. I don't know what the hell I'm saying anymore. Y'all got me too high.
No.
No, you didn't? It wasn't.
No,
It wasn't your fault.
420 somewhere.
You weren't twisting my arm. You know, technically. Let me see. Yeah, there are some time zones that are a half hour off. No, has to be 50 after. When it's 50 hour, there are 3 time zones on Earth where it's 420.
But then can't I be like a half step behind that to get right there?
You can do anything you like.
I know. I always like to make it right.
Hey, and I got a perfect segue to Left Wing Larry here, because Gothic Prophet in the chat room says, you want to see something that could be mistaken for a pot leaf, look at the Ohio State logo.
Right, exactly.
With the Buckeye. All right, Larry, you say you have some trivia for us.
Guess what? Stony, Snap, and I have in common.
What do Stony, Snap, and Left Wing Larry have in common?
Besides cannabis.
Well, duh.
We all 3 went to Marietta High School.
What?
Yes.
No.
Different states, but Marietta High School.
Different states. I was going to say, what?
Yeah.
All right.
Those were the good days, Larry.
We got all the Marietta highs in the house.
Right.
That's pretty cool. All right. I'm digging that. That's all right. Well.
That will blow them out at Marietta, Ohio. Because you talk about a right-wing, conservative bastion in the state of the purple state of Ohio. It is right-wing.
Yeah. You were in Ohio?
No, I was in...
Go through Ohio.
We did drive through, but didn't stay long. We have to go back with Larry to really get the full understanding.
Right.
When we just drive through, sometimes we forget where we are.
They were on their way up to the state up north, that we don't mention.
Hash bash.
Yeah. Oh, Michigan. I see. So how many different events have you guys done? You did Freedom Rally. You did Hash Bash. You did
we did
Hemp Fest.
In Asheville, their first Community Festival.
North Carolina?
Asheville was
Asheville?
Asheville. They had their first ever in the Black Mountains. It was
They
the worst
say they are
storm
the
ever.
cannabis community right now.
You should go to Asheville.
Wow.
Yes.
Right.
Massachusetts.
You guys may have put as many. I've done 30,000 miles this year. So I know, and that's just that's airplanes and trains. So yeah, that's all my travel miles.
Well, Asheville is in the Smoky Mountains.
Yeah.
Let's get all smoky in the Smoky Mountains.
Yes.
I'm all for that.
Oh man.
There was going to be a North Carolina gig that I was going to have this next week that got canceled. And like what happens to a lot of these activist things, especially in the South, they book the gig, they take the money, they make the arrangements, and a week before they say, "Oh no, you can't
jump through that.
You can't be here." They just did this on Friday night on Herb Thrasher Flower Hour. We talked to Chris Butts from the Alabama Medical Marijuana, whatever the name of their group is, because I always forget, but Coalition or whatever. But the group trying to get medical marijuana in Alabama, now 2 weeks in a row, have tried to just table at these festivals. And it's not even that they're selling anything. All they're doing is getting signatures for a petition. It's not like they can get it on the ballot. They don't have initiative petitions. They're just doing a citizen petition like, hey, look, here's a bunch of names on a piece of paper that says we ought to change marijuana laws. What do you think? And they are kicking them out for that. Not letting them put up their banners.
Fuck prohibition.
Down with that. Like, we have to stop being afraid.
Is a misnomer.
Yeah.
Total misnomer.
Come on.
Yeah. That's not.
As long as you're talking redneck Bibles and guns, we're fine.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like this
but
guy.
They love their cannabis too, so it's not right, we all secretly eat.
They love their Budweiser more than that they do their cannabis.
That's right, Larry. The time is here. You must decide.
Right.
Yes.
Cannabis or no cannabis, and we all need it to live. So it's cannabis by default.
But after a while, if you always drink your beer, like you can't drink it anymore because it's going to mess up your insides. But you can always consume your cannabis.
And I don't like how the beer people take our stuff.
Right.
Take our lingo. Like, the new marketing campaign for Budweiser is grab some buds.
Right. Or
that's our buds.
Beers that have 420 Fest. Like there was a 420 Fest about beer in Atlanta this year. Yeah.
Then there's Miller with they've always had the High Life.
Right.
Miller High Life.
Come on.
That's like, man, that's ours, man. You can't take our stuff. That ain't right.
That's not fair. That's why we have to do the commercial vote. Get out there and vote for Normal.
Normal. We want to see pot commercials.
We have to get
in the
pot
Super Bowl.
on television.
Yeah, that's right. They still taking the voting on that.
Super Bowl. We're voting right now. You have until October 26th.
That's right. It's still coming up. Oh, and also, Halloween is coming up.
Yeah.
You got any plans for Halloween?
Smoking
pot. Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully, we can be with some beautiful people that want to be with.
Right.
So.
There's great harvests happening right
They're
now,
having a
and I
harvest
want to
party,
go
let
to
us
a
know.
party.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few happening. I'm willing to go to more.
We got a call coming in here from 636 area code. You're on the air with Toker Talk Radio. What's up?
Hello.
Oh, lost him. Okay.
Call back.
Call back if you want. So anyway, I did want to talk a little bit about some of these drug testing stats, because my drug testing is the thing that makes me so mad.
I'm a firm believer in don't pee in the cup, though. So that's my campaign. I've been going about it for a while now, and I do not like it. I feel like it's very discriminatory, and it really just tests for marijuana. It doesn't look for anything else. Like, if we're being honest and serious, we're just testing your pee to see if you have herbs in your system, and that's not right. It's a plant, and you're just watching me just to be cruel.
That's right. You're absolutely right. I agree with you on a lot of that. And here's the story out of USA Today. High school drug testing shows no long-term effect on use. High school drug testing shows no long-term effect on use. USA Today. New research paints a decidedly mixed picture when it comes to mandatory drug testing for high school students trying out for sports or other extracurricular activities. While testing seems to reduce self-reported drug use in the short term, it has virtually no effect on teens' plans to use drugs in the future. So there's a Department of Education study, 36 high schools that get federal grants for drug testing. Half had already started testing, and the other half hadn't started testing. And what they found, they found a little that the kids who were trying out for extracurriculars reported less use of marijuana than the kids who didn't. Now, whether they did or not is another story, but they reported less. I say there's got to be a little bit of that bias of, I'm not going to say because I'm getting lose my spot as quarterback.
Illegal. Who was ever going to say, that puts the students in a very uncomfortable position,
right?
And it's really a waste of time.
Absolutely.
Especially when it's a drug-free environment.
Let's teach them how to grow it clean and organically, because they're smoking the bad shit.
Right.
But here's what they found, and as well as this though, is that among the kids who didn't try out for extracurriculars, didn't have any effect on them. Wow. Well, of course, they're not getting tested for anything, and they weren't going to go out for a football team anyway, right? And they say testing didn't seem to discourage students from going out for activities, but for me that says most of the kids who were from the families and from the background that were likely to go out for the football team or cheerleading already weren't doing drugs. Right. So why would it discourage them? They weren't worried about doing it in the first place.
Exactly.
But they also found both sets of schools, the ones that had drug testings and the ones that didn't, about 1 out of 3 students said probably or definitely they would use drugs in the next year. So there you go.
Well, if I'm graduating,
That's right. Got a party, right?
You can't catch me anymore, boy.
All right, we're going to go back to our phone lines. We got Gothic Prophet on the line. Gothic Prophet, what's up?
Hey, yes, I got an update actually from Ohio.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
The Ending Ohio Cannabis Prohibition Act, the legalization initiative that DeWine just rejected, is coming back better than ever.
Yes.
All right.
And this is one where the guy rejected it because, your words aren't exactly right. It's a little confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I just actually got an advanced copy of the new initiative, and I'm going to read it over, and I'll keep you guys updated. For now, if you want more information, you just go to responsibleohioans.org, where you can register to volunteer and help out.
That's good news, man. Responsibleohioans.org. And because you got to get a lot of signatures, I know, don't you?
Yeah, we had a whole bunch. I was just talking to the chief petitioner, and apparently he just got a bunch of people telling him, I had petitions to turn in after we'd already submitted. And he was like, well, now you just got to throw them away.
Mm-hmm. Right. They had to do the same thing in Florida.
Yeah.
They had to start over again because the wording wasn't exactly right. So once the lawyer down there came on board, they redid it, renamed the organization. It used to be Puff'em. I don't know what it is now.
Yeah, it's United for Care.
United for Care. And they had to basically start from square one again.
Well, this is good news out of Ohio, though, that we got
is.
another round going on this. And what did they have to change in the language to go this go round?
I'm sorry?
Oh, I was just wondering if you knew what they had to change this time around to try to get it through.
I don't have a summary of changes yet.
Okay.
And we haven't started, collecting signatures for this round yet. So
okay,
we got some time. We're getting some things organized, and then we'll be able to get it going.
Well, fantastic. You keep us keep in touch with us. Let us know what's happening as things develop in Ohio. And this is what we're trying to do here at 420 Radio is to have people all over the country. If something's breaking in their state, they can call in and get the news out, and then this goes out in podcast on YouTube and gets seen and seen and seen. So thank you so much for calling in.
And remember,
No problem.
What's that?
OH.
Oh.
I-O.
It's an O on both ends and high in the middle.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just like me.
Round on the ends and high in the middle.
Thanks for calling in,
Exactly.
Gothic Prophet. Appreciate it, man.
No problem, man.
Take it easy. Hey, we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, I can see the flux capacitor is heating up, and that can mean only one thing. A report from our old-timey 1920s radio reporter, Freddie Farrak, bringing us another stupid prohibition story. So stick around. You're listening to Toker Talk Radio on 420radio.org.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisers because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
Stupid prohibition stories.
As a public service, the Russ Belville Show reminds you that smoking marijuana does not make one stupid. However, some stupid people do smoke marijuana, and prohibition is always waiting for another victim. Learn your lesson from today's stupid prohibition stories.
With your stupid prohibition stories, I'm old-timey 1920s radio reporter Freddie Farrak. This just in from Q13 Fox News. Man suspected in vehicular homicide, high on pot. A 33-year-old man who allegedly hit a motorcyclist after failing to yield on a left turn Friday night in Bellevue is expected to be charged with vehicular homicide after allegedly admitting he was high on medical marijuana at the time of the accident. Caleb J. Floyd was involved in an accident that killed 24-year-old Blake Gaston Friday night. Following the accident, a drug recognition expert interviewed Floyd and determined he was intoxicated even though he blew a 0.00 blood alcohol level in a voluntary test. The drug recognition expert asked Floyd if he smoked marijuana, and he allegedly admitted to smoking pot just before the crash. Floyd allegedly told the police, quote, "I knew you were going to pin this on that," end quote. I'm Freddie Farrak with your stupid prohibition story. All right, that one was a little tough to deliver as a stupid story because someone died. But the stupid in this, of course, is to not admit that you were the smoking pot. This is not going to help your case any. If something terrible should happen to you out there, and you're in a situation like this, shut up. Please just shut up. Don't talk.
Don't answer any questions.
I don't answer questions.
It's right. You are not to answer any questions. And when I personally, and this is just my personal recommendation, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not going to give police any more evidence than they have. Right. So if I'm pulled over, and I don't drive now, so, maybe I'm talking out both sides of my head, but anyway, if I'm pulled over, I'm not going to do their little tests. Now they say, oh, well, if you don't take the breathalyzer test, it's like implied consent and you lose your license. Okay. So I lose my license. Okay, now I know not everybody has that choice. But for me, I'm not going to give the police, I am not going to incriminate myself. I'm not going to take your breathalyzer. I'm not going to pee in a cup. I'm not going to walk a straight line. I'm not going to lift one leg. I'm not going to touch my nose. I'm not going to follow a light. Fuck you. Prove it in court.
Right.
That's the way I stand on this. And so when I read this story, and again, condolences for the 24-year-old guy that got hit here. Yeah. And it's a damn shame if indeed this driver was so high that led to him causing a crash and causing this death. That's terrible. But if you want to guarantee yourself any sort of fair trial, it does not help to incriminate yourself. Shut up. Stop talking in front of uniforms. All right. So, sorry, that riles me up just a little bit because this guy now, he's going to get vehicular homicide. He's going to see years and years and years in prison.
That's how you know it wasn't just cannabis in his system. Because we've been trying to educate our community. And
this could very well be a situation where that crash would have happened to someone who is sober.
Yeah.
You know, this was a left-hand turn situation. He didn't quite yield. He didn't see the motorcycle that was coming in the traffic, right? Happens to motorcycles all the time. Right. Is no saying whether or not a sober person wouldn't have been involved in that same crash. But the sober person wouldn't be considered, evil and terribly reckless like the pot smoker will. When this guy, if he's a regular pot smoker, could very well have been, not that impaired. It could have been a situation. It's just sad. It's just a sad situation. Too many sad situations today to talk about. So we're going to, So we're going to get a little happier right now. A little Chief Greenbed, that'll help. Chief Greenbed makes me happy.
There are times when the whole damn town is dry.
I think this song goes out to all of us today.
And the stash you saved for summer didn't make it to July. I know it feels like forever till the harvests of September. So if you need to catch a buzz, you're welcome anytime. 'Cause a friend with weed is a friend indeed. You don't have to scrape your bowl, smoke on stems and seeds. I'll share my sack, I've got your back. You do the same for me, don't you agree? That a friend with weed is a friend indeed. You'd be surprised how many folks smoke pot. I've known teachers, doctors, lawyers, hell, I even knew one state cop. When they burn their last ones down and their dealers can't be found, you know that they'll call on me, 'cause I'll share what I've got. 'Cause a friend with weed is a friend indeed.
All right, that's for all our friends with weed out there. Thanks for joining us here on Toker Talk Radio, and thank you so much for Stoney and Snap for hanging out.
That's one Monday. Don't forget to match one with a new friend today.
Meet a new friend today.
Even if it's a quick poll.
Yeah, dude. See you later, IG. Thanks for listening, guys. That was awesome. I can't wait to listen again.
That's right. Coming up next, Stoney Sundays. Coral Reefer, her latest episode of Stoney Sunday, is up next at 5 p.m. Pacific time, followed by the replay of the Russ Belville Show and this hour of Toker Talk Radio. And then tonight, we will bring you a new hour of the Viper Hour, the best of reefer jazz from way back in the day. And tonight, we're going to do music. We've been showing movies for a while. I feel like playing some music tonight, so stay tuned for that. For Stoney and Snap and Left Wing Larry, I'm Radical Russ. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, take care of each other, tokers.
This is the Russ Belville Show. The Russ Belville Show is blogging and podcasting daily at radicalruss.com.
You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it.
Public Radio.